if somebody comes and asks us for something, we bring it up at a meeting and we vote onto it, and we get a little discussion over it, and we end up giving them something.
One of the biggest things that we brought to the meeting, at least from our perspective, because we're members of two different entities, was, again, Les and I, we were on the computer. Now we're back at home instead of in Afghanistan. We're on the computer, the VFW national site, and we see this Adopt a Unit program. So we clicked on that, and we're getting a little bit more involved in reading what that's all about. And I said, well, wouldn't this be an awesome, opportunity? Isn't this an awesome opportunity? Here we are serving as active duty members of a local military installation, and we're also, members of the VFW. So we brought that up at the meeting. I think it was our second or third meeting here.
So this would have been early in 2013?
It was November, wasn't it?
November 2012.
Oh, it was last November. Okay.
We brought it up, and that was hands down pass. Yeah, let's do it. And everybody was on board. There was, everybody was pro it, and we from that Adopt a Unit program, that's very successful, I think, in both ways. We had Les and I work with a traditional guardsman. He got in a really bad car accident right before one of our guard drills.
That was a motor vehicle accident?
It was a car accident. He had a seizure, and he had a concrete barrier or something. I'm not too certain about the specifics, but he almost lost his life. He has a wife and two very small children. She was a homemaker and he was the provider, and that really shattered a lot that they had going for him at that point in time. And once Les and I heard about that, we said, well, let's see what we can do. And the base itself did a fundraiser, and I think they raised some $1,500. About $1,500 the entire base raised for this airman. And I called up the VFW post that night and explained the situation. The person I talked to, one of the members I talked to, said, I'll get right back to you. And probably about 10-15 minutes later, he said, why don't you swing up tomorrow? We're gonna have a card. Inside there'll be a check for his wife, behind the bar. Come on up. So I came up the next day. We got a card and a check that was equivalent to what an entire base, did a fundraiser for. The VFW post generously gave to this.
So they
this
matched
airman.
it, and you were
They matched it.
Not
Not only did they match it, but the following week, the women's auxiliary at our VFW post contributed $500 to that. So we raised at the VFW post alone, we donated $2,000 to his wife and children for whatever they needed, gas expenses, groceries, whatever, you name it, they needed at that point in time. But no questions asked. They were like, all right, member of the 109th, and it's not only just a member of the 109th, but like Doc said, if anybody was in need and it was a legitimate reason or cause, we're gonna be able to back it.
Beautiful.
We figured, why don't we have everybody because we adopted the unit, why don't we have the entire unit up to our posts, and we provided them with a free barbecue for the entire 109th members and their families, hot dogs, hamburgers, sausage, salads, beer, soda, children games, you name it, we did it, and it was wide open from 12 to 6 in August.
This was in August.
It was in August, and the whole, it gave it gave complete exposure to this post in particular, but also what a VFW is and what the VFW
And so you feel
post
that
provides.
succeeded in raising awareness?
We had over 100 people from the 109th show up to the barbecue, and I thought that was pretty successful. If you have probably more than 10, I think that's a success.
Should we get feedback from all of you or down the line about that barbecue, what that was like?
Well, the exposure that it did get is what our point was there, is not just to have them come up, but to actually see what it's all about here. And it exposes their family to it too, to get them to see what it's about. And then it's a positive thing, they see. And that's important because, family members might think, oh, you're going to go up there and you're going to, just go up there and have a few or whatever, and then you're going to come home.
So it was very family oriented.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it was a success. I mean, these guys would come to me and say, this is so-and-so, they're in the rank and whatever, even though I wasn't really sure, and they'd say, Karen, top rank, okay? But they weren't. They were very down to earth. And I did bring a couple of our older gentlemen at the time out to meet some of these people, the younger ones, to introduce them, and they talked, and it was nice to see our post members out with them. And yeah, we had a really good time, and I think they all enjoyed it. And I mean, they were, I do remember one thing from it. Someone's boys were there. They were teenage boys, and they looked at me and they said, "This is like so awesome here." I said, "What?" And he goes, "There's so much food and everything. We don't have to pay." And I said, "You can have all you want." And they were just like in heaven. They were in heaven.
That's wonderful.
So it was.
Is there any chance
People
this might
came and
become an annual event? Is that in the works?
We haven't discussed it, but we wanted to see how it worked and see what they felt first. And it seemed to go good.
Recruit members, but just to educate people what a VFW is, what a post does, where we are.
Did you have
a lot of people drive by here, I know, and they don't even see the
place.
place.
Did you have posters? Did you have pamphlets? So you had some educational material available? Okay.
People had to seek it out, really.
And you guys did tours with them?
Yep, we definitely,
You conducted tours, the two of you?
Yep, we showed everybody the post, introduced them to some of the members that were here working the barbecue all day. All week.
Oh, it's amazing the work that goes on.
And it was just, it was a huge sense of appreciation from, we had high-ranking officials from the 109th that were here, and they were just, taken back on this. They never expected it. I guess they expected it. We had flyers up and base emails.
We were all worried.
Nobody was going to come. Yeah, for a month and a half, we had publicity for this.
And we were trying to figure out how many people we were going to feed.
It's
I
hard.
didn't want to run out of food.
Yeah, you had the loaves
it's
and the
hard.
fishes or
Well,
something.
Pam and I had a good time when we went shopping for it. Like the kids' stuff. We're
for
like,
the kids'
okay,
stuff.
let's
Well,
put
luckily
this
you're in
up.
close
And
proximity to Aldi's over here, the grocery store next door.
No.
No.
Me and him do the food shopping. We do the toy shopping.
We do the toys. We had a good time.
We did.
We did. Oh, look at this. We
Here,
tried
does
to
this
find
one
out
work? Let me
ages.
see.
Oh, that's
yeah, we had
neat.
hula hoops. You see us in the store.
Well, how many
we
of
did.
those who attended were children? What percentage have?
Well, there was probably about 13, 14, 15, 13, 14 kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
There's-
was little
oh,
ones
13
up
or
to little
14.
teenagers.
Sorry.
We
Yeah, they were running
had
all over.
kickballs and
Kickballs, hula
and all
hoops,
that,
all right.
bubbles and
Yeah, we have a lot of room here. And you know what? Everybody watches out for everybody else.
We brought up an idea recently, our last meeting actually, to put together care packages for our 109th annual Operation Deep Freeze mission, where we go down to Antarctica. Because of the distance and the lack of rotation, I guess, from the United States down to Antarctica, it was best thought to pre-package the care packages and bring them down with us. But one night, Les and I, at a meeting this past month actually, we put on the floor again, we'd like to put care packages together for all the troops going down south, down to Antarctica. Is this a possibility? And again, no, everybody said absolutely. And with the help of a lot of the post members, but especially Doc, Pam, and Karen and John.
Doc, Pam, Karen, and John.
They made it happen. They put together 10 care packages worth about $1,000 of items: shampoo, conditioner, mouthwash, toothpaste,
The only
toothbrush.
one
They
thing I
gave
couldn't
us a
figure out
list.
you didn't ask for.
They
All
gave
kinds
us a
of
list, and we,
Consumables.
You know,
Consumables.
one thing I
That are hard to
couldn't
get
figure
down
out you didn't ask for.
Alcohol.
You didn't ask for toilet paper.
Oh, we're good on that. The past year down in Antarctica, we had some unusual warm weather, and in order to get fresh food down to Antarctica, we have to have the planes rotating in and out. But it was so warm that the ice melted, and we couldn't really maneuver the aircraft. So we had a security stash, I guess, of a safety stash of frozen food that was actually in the ice shelf.
What
last
did you
year.
find? What types of frozen foods? Swanson's?
Chicken.
TV dinners? Or?
Basically, I guess from hearsay, the National Science Foundation or whoever was running the operation at that point in time put together a bunch of emergency rations in case something like this was to have happened, and we were eating. They said 5-year-old food, 5-year-old frozen chicken and stuff. Whatever was put away. But yeah, you're so isolated down there that if you don't get the planes to rotate, and that was one of the reasons that we were putting the care packages together, because we have a little store that's down there in our little town down there. But if they run out of things like deodorant, shampoo, body lotion, whatever, we gave the post a list of necessities, even playing cards and some magazines or whatever, just because the boredom kicks in after a while. But again, VFW Post 358 delivered.
This is wonderful. So 10 care packages with a value of approximately $1,000, and it came together just like that.
I have my wife Rihanna
Mm-hmm.
and 3 children. Caitlin is our oldest, Nicholas, and Jack. We have a big gap there. The 2 teenagers are my stepchildren, and we have our 2-year-old Jack.
Was Jack here on the weekend? I didn't.
He came up after.
Okay, because I didn't think we had him in the
after you
photos.
guys.
I'm married, I've been married, in October 1st was 25 years.
Congratulations.
congrats.
So we're headed off to Cape Cod this weekend.
Wonderful.
Thursday.
What is your wife's name?
Her name is Lorraine.
Nice.
Okay. Any children?
We have 2. My oldest son is 22 years old, and he's been with the unit since 2009.
What is his
2010.
first name?
Jonathan. Jontham.
Okay. And he's been with the unit since 2009.
Yes, he joined when he
He's
was
22.
17 years old
Oh,
in December
Wow.
of that year. Graduated 4 years ago. So he's been with you.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
okay.
And so he didn't want to work with me, but he wanted to be part
They
of the
never
unit.
do.
It started out for the education, but
Mhm.
then it grew on him.
Wonderful.
So now he's actually a full-time member there as an
Excellent.
AGR also. And my youngest son, Robert,
How old is Robert?
he just turned 19.
19.
and he wants to be a professional baseball player. So
Wow,
Don't we all?
that's wonderful,
he's well
okay.
on his way. A lot
Yeah.
of people are surprised when they find out, you know.
Well,
Excellent,
19 years
wonderful.
old is old enough to know you got some
Oh yeah,
skills.
He's got it.
He's got talent. He's got a gift.
Yeah.
I will be.
How hard is that for you?
I mean, it's an adjustment, but my wife's come to expect it, you know, because it is part of the mission. It's what I do. So every other year, I'll spend Christmas home. Like this year, well, it works out good for some of them because, see, they get to have 2 Christmases.
I was
Like while they're
wondering,
gone.
okay, and do you celebrate early or do you wait until?
Yes,
when you
this
come
year
home?
will be early.
So you're gonna have Christmas probably in October?
It'll be in December.
Oh, we will,
It'll be before I deploy.
okay.
With no specifics on
And the
that.
same thing with you? No, I understand that.
Yeah, it's hard. It's, I think, you know, all the military members and their families, that's part of the job. You really have to have a strong, with what we do, with what we've done, what we do, you have to, the biggest thing is, you know, especially if you're not single,
Family.
your biggest thing is
Family.
to have strong family support. Otherwise, it's really difficult to do what we do on a daily basis even.
What are some of the ways your respective families make this easier for you? What are some of the things that they do to ease your homesickness and this, and the separation when, especially over holiday
Well,
times?
nowadays,
Technology.
technology is very advanced.
Can
We
you Skype from there?
We can Skype.
Yeah.
You can email, you know, from all our deployed locations, even when we were in Afghanistan, phone calls. Morale is a big thing. If you know, I think if you don't have, this is me personally saying, if you don't have the morale, I think, you know, everything else kind of suffers.
Mm-hmm.
Especially being deployed halfway around the globe. We're 12,500 miles away.
Yeah.
12,500
That's one
miles
way.
away. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
I'd like to
One
s-
way?
One way.
Can I say something?
Yes, please do.
That's one of my biggest things that, I remember Derek telling me how his son was sick and was in the hospital, and he was
Oh.
deployed. And he said, you know, he was able to get back, or whatever, with the Red Cross and whatever, but his wife was here alone.
Wow.
And that's one thing that we're
We're-
really
we're
trying to
trying-
push with the 109, is
Yeah.
that we're here.
We're here. If they
No
need
matter
to-
what they want, if they
If
need
there's something
money,
we
if
can
there's
do.
anything
Beautiful.
we can do. We're not just
Babysit
here
or-
to write them a check. We're here to, you know, things come up. They, you know, maybe they just wanna get out, you know, the ladies wanna get together, whatever. We're there.
Okay.
We have a
A
lot of
perfect
members.
example was the barbecue.
Yeah.
All right.
These guys were, you know,
Yes.
they're here for the
Mhm.
barbecue. That took off. These guys are getting older. And I mean, I even talked to a few guys the other day when I was working here,
Mhm.
and they were like, "This is gonna be our last." You know, it's
Ooh.
tough on us.
Mhm.
It's tough. But this time we had the younger ones here
Mhm.
to, you know, help out much more, and they were, you know, full force.
Yes, your help was appreciated Saturday.
Yes. They may not
It really
think,
was.
but we know what this goes on with these
Mhm.
barbecues, and that's what it's all about, you know, I mean, they didn't always have auxiliaries for the young guys, whatever, and the young girls, but these guys really stepped up, and
They really
they,
stepped up.
and I can say the post members, I think that's sort of why they're like, okay, we can sort of slide down a little bit now. 'cause
But you
we've
find that
got
this is
new-
building more morale
Yeah.
in general? I mean, amongst the longer, you know, longer serving members of VFW Post 5-8, is it giving them a boost to see that there were these 7 new members?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yes.
So this has been a
Yes,
morale
they
booster for
really-
the
they
post
did.
in general.
It lightens the load. More
Lightens the
hands
load, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Makes all the work easier.
Okay.
Just to kind of tie in your whole goal to show the communication between the 109th members, well, the 109th post members, I should say.
Right.
And post members back and forth. One of the other things that we brought up at our last meeting was a monthly bottle drive. That, you know, again, if you have good communication with around the 109th, you know, like we did with the barbecue, you have good communication here. It's a win-win situation. It's to raise money. It's to raise money for the posts, but in turn could be utilized for, you know, like Karen was saying, any of the 109th members or their families that may need it during our deployments or during the year, whatever the situation may be. One of the things we brought to the table this past meeting was there's a redeemable bottle center in Glenville, and I went there one day to drop off my recyclables, get money back for myself, and we dropped, my son and I dropped the bottles off. We got our money, and when I went to cash out, there's a bunch of whiteboards, erasable boards on the wall, and you know, I'm looking at all these different, they have Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and baseball this and baseball that, church groups, and then I noticed a VFW post. I said, that's a good idea. So I brought it up at the last meeting. Why don't we, you know, as long as everyone's all right with it, I'll you know, create a point of contact. Our point of contact there right now is John Lombardo, and basically the way it works is it's a continuous bottle drive. We can announce it as an actual bottle drive and have, you know, max participation, or anybody in the local community can go there on a normal day and just turn in their recyclables.
Really?
Any amount of money, you just tell them what
You wanna
know, what
donate it
entity
to.
you wanna,
Wonderful. Yes,
what
yes.
entity you wanna support, and that money goes into a pot. And on a monthly basis, either the clerk told me that either they can send a check on a monthly basis to the John Lombardo, post 358, or he can go there and pick up the money and hand carry it. People come back with PTSD or whatnot from a combat-related climate, and they're looking. They might not be looking for an outlet, but they need an outlet, and this is definitely, you know, for the most part, this is a perfect, a prime spot to, you know, to discuss whatever's on your mind, and have people that actually understand where you were and what you've been in. Even you might have been in Vietnam, but war is war, and you know, there's definitely common ground there. So I think that's another thing that really, you know, created a very strong bond between Les and I, being there and having to protect each other in order to survive and come home alive. One thing I just want to say real quick, I know I said a lot tonight, but one thing that I want to say that's really important is I do feel more comfortable going on a deployment, no matter what type of deployment it is, because if Karen and I probably talk more than my wife and I during the day. Just, you know, touching on that, just to know that you know, now we have a post here that also supports us, and our families especially, because my wife, I mean, she does, I know Les's wife does a lot too, but my wife does everything. She has to, because at any point in time, I could be gone for a couple months, I could be gone for a year. It all depends on how long we have to be away on a deployment. So she handles everything, and it's just good to know that there's another support group that she has, and my kids have. They know where it is, they know what we do, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's been a wonderful experience for us,
Thank you very much.
and we hope
you.
to
Appreciate it.
further raise awareness, you know, in the community and far beyond. So I thank you.
Thank you.